Hello everyone, it's Shauna coming to you live from her craft room in Edmond, Oklahoma. Today is July 20th, 2025. It is 4 p.m. I'm on time. I think I have fixed the technology problems, the squealing, so bear with me. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right place and make sure you can hear me. All the good stuff. Hope everyone's having a fabulous weekend. I can't believe it's almost over already. It goes by way too fast. Okay, so I'm in the right spot. I'm going to turn live comments on. Make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Maybe? So, yes. In the right spot. Okay. All right, so I didn't hear any squealing. Let me just double check, make sure. Maybe? Yep, we look good. I'm gonna say I'm actually like not cockeyed, so I think we're good there. Wow, that never happens. So I'm not gonna mess with anything. I'm very excited for today's live. I think this is something that you can make a gajillion different ways, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to alter it and use it for what you need. These are just little drink mixes, little powdered drink mixes, and so I went with that. I did a strawberry pineapple, a lemonade, an orange pineapple, just because the paper that I'm using today is the Celebratory Sips paper, and I'll show that to you here in just a second. But I wanted to use this paper, and this was the cutest thing. That won't happen to yours, I promise you, and I'll show you why that's happening. So don't worry about that part right there. But a little water bottle. This is really easy, so we're going to make this one first, and then we'll do this one because, again, I've got several different ideas on this, and that's why that's like that. So let me move this out of the way, and I just want to go over some quick housekeeping stuff. I won't spend a lot of time on this. There are 3 levels of creativity that Stampin' Up! Offers. We've got step-by-step instructions with our kits. Here's our paper pumpkins, which are our monthly subscription kits, and here are the ones that you can go online and purchase. These, you can see everything that you're getting in these. Hi Mom, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. These are our monthly subscriptions. These are a surprise to us each month. We get little sneak peeks, and I try to share those with you. But we've got 2 different kinds of kits. Again, step-by-step instructions. Those are great for beginners or just to get your mojo going. Sometimes we get into like a creative slump, and it's nice just to pull something out, start working on it, and then as you do it, all the ideas start coming to you. We have quick and easy options, which is our mix and match section, where you've got some envelopes and some card bases that you can pull from, and they coordinate with some die cuts and some stamps, and you can just put them all together. They do have samples in the catalog, so you can make them like that, or you can do it however you want. And then, of course, most of the catalog is paper, ribbons, stamps. You pick and pull what you like, you use them how you want, and that's our creativity your way, anything goes, which are for the avid scrapbookers, avid card makers, and we do have that in every section of cards and scrapbooking. So if you ever have any questions on anything, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. When I was talking about the paper pumpkin kits just a second ago, these that are in the little sorbet colored, the orangey red boxes, this is the monthly subscription, and the next one is Farmhouse Florals. this I think is going to be really cute. You have to be subscribed. Again, this is our monthly subscription kit. So you have to subscribe by August 10th to get this kit. And if you're interested in the paper pumpkins or the kits, holler at me, let me know, and I can tell you how to sign up. But this August kit has a free stamp set in it. So you're going to get 2 stamp sets. Just a sneak peek of the next month, if I can turn my paper, is the Fall for Toil. And this coordinates with a beautiful fall set that's going to be in our mini catalog. We get to look at that mini catalog July 30th. We get to pre-order from it, I think, August 5th. And then you, as a customer, can order from it in September. So not too much longer. And if you want to get the if you want to, you know, do the pre-ordering stuff, then holler at me, let me know, and I can tell you how to join my team. And that way you can be a demonstrator and you can get your hands on it earlier than anybody else and get a discount. So, but there's a cute little fox. Here's some little cute sneak peeks of the back of the envelope. So this is going to be really cute. And it does have a coordinating die set. This die is for July, August, and September. So, of course, the September one that we just saw, the fall one, has the acorn and the leaf. The one that we just got is the one that is the strawberry. And then the hello went with the month before. So, anyway, just some cute sneak peeks of stuff. Of course, you know, we have our annual catalog. That is the easiest way to see what we have, but to be able to see everything, you need to go online to stampinup.com. You get to see all of our last chance items, which are our discounted items. You get to see all of the kits. We come out with 2 new kits every month, so those are constantly changing. And you get to see the online exclusives, which are products that don't ever make it to the catalog. But I'll be honest with you, here lately I like the online items, the online exclusive products, more than what I like the annual catalog products. And I have been using a lot of those here lately. So I use them for this month's class. I'm using them for next month's class. So speaking of next month's class, August class, every month I do a card class and a scrapbooking class. Here is the card class for August that I'm offering. You have to let me know if you're interested by July 31st. So we've got almost another week and a half for you to decide if you want to do it or not. It's $15 for the card class. And it comes in a little kit. You need to pick it up. I will have everything ready for the card class to go by August 22nd. You will need to pick it up by August 23rd or after. So let me get the calendar. Give me just a second. I should have grabbed that. I should know better. I do that every weekend, I think. So again, today is the 20th. You need to let me know by the 31st if you're interested in the card class or the scrapbooking class. So our church crop, this is a free to anybody who wants to come. There's no class involved. You just bring what you want to work on. You bring your own snacks, your own lunch. It's free. Come and go as you want from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just let me know and I can tell you the address, the location, everything. So if you're interested in that, that is August 16th, again from 8 to 4. Here's the card class. So I will have everything made by the 22nd for you to pick up on the 23rd or after. When we were meeting in person, this is the day that we would have had the class. Okay, so again, it's these 3 cards. This is using the Sunrise Sailing Bundle. This card right here opens up like this. It's kind of a faux slider card. This little sailboat kind of keeps it closed and it can move from side to side. This one, I cannot remember the name of the class, but it stands like this. So I know that's kind of a hard way to see it, but it is a fun fold. It's not your normal average card. So it has a cute little fun fold to learn. And then this one is just using our in colors, the new in colors that came out this year, for a cute little 3rd card. Again, card class for the month of August. Let me know by July 31st if you're interested. It's $15 for the class. You do need to be here local. I'll have them ready by August 22nd for you to pick up on the 23rd or after. And just I have been having a lot of fun with this Sunrise Sailing class or stamp and die set. Here's just a few extra cards that I have made using that bundle. This is using the beautiful gallery paper, I think is the name of it. I love this paper. You'll be seeing a little bit more of that here in the next few weeks. So, but anyway, a great online exclusive stamp and bundle set. And I know you'll remember these. This was this month's card class. And again, this was an online exclusive, Impressions A Bloom. So yes, you can order from our catalog, but really you're missing out if you're not going online and seeing the online exclusives. So, okay, and here's a sneak peek of a new online exclusive. I showed that off, the new products. This was just available July 1st. I showed this off last weekend. This is the card that we're going to be making next weekend for the Facebook Live. And it's a fun fold. So it's not your normal card. Scrapbooking class to go. Okay. Let's talk scrapbooking. This class, again, you need to let me know by July 31st. I will have everything ready to go, pre-cut for you on the 29th so that you can pick it up on August 30th or after. Again, this is, if we were meeting in person still, this is when we would be doing it. So again, let me know in a week and a half, July 31st, if this is something you're interested in. You need to be local so that you can pick them up on the 30th or after. The cost for this is $45. You make 3 2-page layouts. So let me grab, give me just a second. Here is layout 1, and it has a lot of cute little embellishments, some ribbon, some enamel dots, these puffy stickers. I mean, this kit is full of embellishments. It has some Cricut cuts that I've cut out on my Cricut. Here is page 2 of layout 1. Again, some Cricut cuts, some puffy stickers, some ribbon. This stuff comes pre-cut for you in a kit. It looks like this. It's all in a Ziploc bag. It's labeled layout 1, layout 2, layout 3, and you just go off of my photos that I emailed to you to put it together. They are very easy to put together. This is using the On the Go Designer Series paper. But it's very easy to put together. layout 2, page 1 and 2. Again, you know, all the puffy stickers, the enamel dots, the ribbon, all of this comes in your kit. So if this is something that you're interested in, $45. Let me know by the 31st. Here is layout 3, page 1 and 2, Cricut cuts, ribbon, enamel dots, puffy stickers. They are everywhere, all over the pages. This is a great kit. All right. And if you ever have any questions about how my kits are or what you're going to get when you get my kit, then let me know. Reach out to me, send me a Facebook message, send me an email. I can always add you to the monthly email list. And that way you can see kind of what we're making. I send that out about, I don't know, at least half a month, 15 days ahead of time. So, okay. All right, guys, I think that's enough talking. Let's get to crafting because we've got a couple of different projects. We might go a little over today, but hopefully not. They're pretty easy, pretty simple. Again, it's using the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. And this is really cute paper. So we've got some drinks, some cups. This does come with a stamp and a die as well. I do not have the stamp and die. I just really loved the paper. So I grabbed the paper and I've been really pleased with making stuff just with the paper. So you get 12 pieces of paper. There is 2 pieces of each design. So there's a front and a back to each one and you get 2 pieces of that. So you can either have 2 pieces of this, 2 pieces of this, or just 1 of each, however you want to split it up and use. So as you can see, this is the back piece. So here's the front of the first page, there's the back, and I've kind of cut into this, so I'm sorry about that, I couldn't wait. Here is the front of page 2 and the back. It's a really pretty flower. If you love purple, yeah. Here is page 3, front and back. Page 4, front and back. The dies cut these out. And the stamps have some little ice cubes. It has some cheers, some sentiments. It's got a really cool die that makes the cup, the glass, look really neat. So it is a cool stamp and die. I just didn't know if I would really use it. Here is page 5, front and back. And again, sorry, I've kind of cut into this. And here is page 6, front and back. So it does have some floral stuff if you don't like the cups. Again, this is an online exclusive. I'm telling you guys, I'm in love with the online exclusives. I really do enjoy those products a little bit more than the catalog. Celebratory Sips, and it's item 165586 if you're interested. But I am going to show you some cute projects using this paper, but I'm going to give you also some ideas that you don't have to use this paper with. I think this that I'm going to show you, this little treat box, is going to come in really handy Halloween time to make little treats for kiddos. So hang in with me and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and you don't just have to use it for the mixes. Okay, so we're going to start with this one just because this is really easy. This is just a cute little water bottle thing that a little tag, I guess, and it's got a couple little drink pouches in here. And this says, sending a little sweetness your way. Now this sentiment is from the Sweet Jar. Again, an online exclusive, and I've showed this off. I've used this in a video here recently with the jar and the birthday candles. If you guys remember my little party in the box, a birthday party in the box, you get this little birthday cake Lindor truffle, a horn, some balloons, a little candle. These are great for little coworkers or friends that you just want to say, hey, I know it's your birthday. I didn't forget. You're special. It's your day. Here. And you don't have to spend a lot of a lot of money. So just a cute little treat box. I love treat boxes. That's actually what, I'm going to take this off and lay this flat so that you guys can see it. That's kind of what got me started with the Stampin' Up! Stuff. I loved the treat boxes, and I loved how everything just went together. So we're going to use sending a little sweetness your way. You could also use a little treat for you if you wanted. And if you've been around with Stampin' Up! For a long time, I guess the reason why I did not get the Stampin' Die that goes with this paper is because I actually have something called Happy Hour, and I got this stamp set because I loved the any hour spent with you is happy hour sentiment. And if I'm going to do any type of, oh, thanks Mom, yeah, I love that little birthday treat box. If I'm going to use any type of alcoholic beverage, I'm going to probably reach for this sentiment because I love it so much. And I thought, I don't need something else that says cheers. I've got a cheers right here. So I'm going to be using those two today. And let me show you this right here. I'm going to lay this down for you guys if you want to make a quick little screenshot of it. Here is the dimensions. This is using a cardstock piece that is 3 inches wide by 11 inches long. So let me grab, I'm using Timid Tiger today. That was just, it's one of the new in colors. It's kind of like pumpkin pie, but it's a little bit different. I'm really loving this, but you could use any of the in colors. The strawberry slush would go good. The darling duckling would go good. I just really liked this paper. I thought it was fun and bright. So let me grab my little trimmer. These go together really quick and easy. If you had to mass produce, this would be an easy thing to mass produce. So again, it's 3 by 11. So I'm just going to cut a 3-inch strip. I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way and use my scoring blade. We're going to score this at 1/2 inch on both sides, long ways. And then we're going to score this at 2 inches. Two and 1/4. Okay, the hardest part about this whole thing. So right here, and you should be able to see it on the camera, but I'm going to pull it up. Here's our 1/2 inch score line on each side. We're going to come back in and we're going to score at 1/4, but we're only going to come up to this 2-inch score line. So I'm going to put my trimmer up just so that you can see this a little bit better as what I'm doing. But I'm going to go 1/4. So this score line was 1/2. So I'm going to do 1/4. And I'm only going to come up, oh, whoops. Okay, hold on. I started cutting. Okay, let me back up. That was a boo-boo. Okay, there's my 3-inch. Move my cutting line, my cutting blade. score it at 1/2, rotate it, score it at 1/2, score it at 2, and score it at 2 1/4. And do not move your cutting blade. Okay, so let's try this again. We're gonna go 1/4. That's what happens when I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. And we're just gonna score, not cut, up to this 2-inch line. And we're gonna do the same thing. And I'm just gonna turn my cutter around because it's easier for me. Turn my paper around, and I'm gonna go 1/4 and just up to this 2-inch line. So your paper is gonna look like this. Hopefully you guys can see that. I think you can. If not, score it at 1/2, score it at 1/4, but this 1/4 only comes up to this 2-inch score line right here. And you'll see why here in a second. I'm gonna grab my scissors. The water bottle thing is awesome. Thanks, Carrie. Good to see you. Okay, so we are going to come in here and we're gonna cut. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring in my trimmer because I'm gonna cut off with using my trimmer just because it's easier for me. Here's the little 2-inch section. Here's the big tall section. I'm gonna cut off this 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna have to stand up over this so that I can see my score line down here. But I'm gonna come on this 1/2 inch all the way down and cut this off to that first score line. And I'm going to turn my paper. I'm going to do it on this side. And I would normally do this with scissors, but since it's such a long line, it's just easier using the trimmer. Okay, and that leaves us with this. So you've got your 1/2 here, your 1/2 here, and then this gives you a 2-inch, because this was 3 all together at the beginning, and now it's 2 once you cut off the 1/2 and the 1/2. Okay, and then you can come down here and you can cut that first score line. I'm gonna grab different scissors. Better scissors. And then you're gonna cut right here on this. And this is gonna give you a little tab. So you have these 2 little tabs right here. Okay, now what you can do is get your bone folder. Where's my bone folder? And we're going to burnish all these score lines. To me, it is just easier to make those cuts before you fold and burnish the score lines. But you can do it in whatever order you want. It's just whatever you feel more comfortable with. And see how easy this is. Watch. This is going to fold up. Oh, I forgot to do these lines. Trying to get ahead of myself. And one more right there. Okay, now this is going to come up And this is gonna fold in like this. I'm trying to do it and trying to stay on the camera. So hopefully you guys can see how that worked. The tabs are gonna fold in, this piece is gonna fold over, and it's gonna adhere like this. Does that make sense? Hopefully that showed well enough. I think it did. Okay, so before we tape anything down, let's go ahead and put down our designer series paper. Our designer series paper is just our pattern paper. And the piece that we need for this is 1 7/8 by 8. So really what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna go 1 7/8, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the whole 12. And then I can come in here and I can cut off 2 inches, or excuse me, 4 inches, because 12 minus 4 is 8. And we can save this and use this for something else. And then this is what's gonna go on the piece back here. Now I'm gonna use a different piece right here. I'm gonna use the, let me grab it. This was more of the fruits, your lemons, your limes, your strawberries, your cherries, your blueberries. And I think that's already 1 7/8. It is. And I need it 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So let me cut 1 7/8 this way. These, again, go together really, really fast. I get my adhesive, whatever adhesive floats your boat. This is just my ATG gun. We do not sell these through Stampin' Up. I've had this thing forever. I think you can probably get them at Hobby Lobby or definitely online. If you go through a lot of adhesive when you're scrapbooking, that is the best adhesive. And for this, just so that this stays together better, I'm going to use some tear and tape. And let me grab my silicone mat, just because this tear and tape is a little bit wider than this tab that I'm doing. So I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna flip these up because I don't want that in my way. And I'm gonna come up to this score line and I'll put some adhesive right here. This is good, strong adhesive. See how it overhangs? Well, when it's on your silicone mat, it doesn't matter because you can just peel it off. If I had stuck that to my piece of paper, I'd have a mess on my hands already. So again, you're gonna butt it up to that score line and tear it off. Sorry, I'm gonna reach across my desk, grab my little pokey tool. That is the easiest way to peel this off. And then this overhang, I'm just gonna tuck it back on itself. I'm gonna do the same to this side. Are you guys yelling at me yet? I just now noticed I didn't put my little piece of paper on this. Shauna, slow down, pay attention. Okay, so I'm just folding this adhesive back on itself again because it's a little bit too big. But before I pull this back, I want to put my paper on here just because it's easier to do when it's flat. And you want to make sure if you've got any type of directional paper that you put it on the right way. So I always like to bend this portion up and make sure that I've got it on there the right way. That way I'm not putting it upside down. I've done that a time or two, believe it or not. So we're just gonna put that right there. We're gonna pop it right there. I probably need to come down just a hair. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now, so we're gonna pull these tabs back in. We're going to wrap this over and then come up, and we want to make sure that we're getting this squared up. So that piece, that line is going to go up against that score line. So here we go. We're going to tuck this in, kind of pull this back, get it in there. And then make sure that we've got it nice and square. And then you can use whatever circle hole punch you want. I'm just gonna come in here with my old 1 1/4. And I'm gonna come, actually, you know what? I think I used the 1 3/8. Yes, I did. Okay, I'm gonna come in here with my 1 3/8. And I'm gonna come about 1 1/2 inches down. So I'm just going to use my grid paper about right here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to eyeball it. And really, before you even do that, if you want to go ahead and kind of take your bone folder and put a curve in this, it is easier to do that at this point. I'm going to push down those pieces that I put the tear and tape down. I can kind of see it popping up because I didn't push it down very far. Okay. So if you kind of go ahead and take your bone folder and put a bend in it, this is probably the better time to do that before you put your hole in it. But I'm just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is handmade. But you just put that on there, and then you can kind of still kind of bend it and play with it if you need to a little bit, just to make sure that it lays flat on your bottle. And then these came from Walmart. These are just little Dole drink mixes. Now, I will have to say this is probably a grown-up version. Tropical lemonade, peach mango. I thought these went with the drinks a little bit better that were on the paper. However, if you were going to give this to a kid, Walmart does have some more kid-friendly flavors. We've got peach ring, cotton candy, mermaid, and unicorn. And so, of course, depending on who you're giving it to, you might want to go for some more kid-friendly drink powdered mixes. But isn't that cute? So now all we have to do is decorate this. And again, I used the Sweet Jar online exclusive. I'm going to use this Sending a Little Sweetness Your Way. It's 2 different stamps. I already have them on the blocks. And I'm going to use Strawberry Slush and Timid Tiger. And I'm going to grab me a piece of basic white paper, a little piece of scratch paper, which I know, here they are. I was like, I had some right here. They have fallen to the floor. It's funny because my desk gets very chaotic during lives, and when I'm done with them, it's a mess. The after craft mess. Okay, so this one is the one that says Sending a Little Blank Your Way, because again, this stamp set, I mean, you could do Sending a Little Love Your Way, Sending a Little Luck Your Way, Sending a Little Party Your Way, sending a little happy birthday your way. There's several different options. And I'm going to use the Timid Tiger to do this part of it. I'm going to go tap, tap, tap kind of over here to the side. And I'm going to push this down. And I'm going to close that up, because if not, I'm going to have ink everywhere. And then I'm going to do Sweetness. And since these are the clear photopolymer stamps, you can see pretty easily where the words go. Now, I am a little off. I didn't want to stick my head too far into the camera. So, you know, if I didn't have a camera over my head, I could just put that right in my face and do probably a better job. I think this fit, let me look. I may have to get a die. No. Okay, so this fits again in my 1 3/8 punch. So I'm just going to line that up, punch it out. And then what I've done here is I've actually cut out just a little drink from the extra paper. You could choose any drink you wanted. On this one, I did a tall one and a small one. And they're pretty easy just to kind of come in here and fussy cut. I don't see any small ones right offhand on that one. Let me see. Here's a little small one off of the actual hole that I had punched out. So let me take this off. Well, actually, let me just start cutting and then I can take it off. It'll be a little bit easier probably. Or maybe I'll just leave it on there. But if you just fussy cut, and again, if you've got the dies, you don't have to fussy cut, but I didn't feel like I needed the dies, so. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But I can just take this and take a little piece of dimensional, pop this on the back, and then take my adhesive once again, put some adhesive on this. Let's see. Pop that. Actually, you know what? I might want to pop that one up too. Let me pop that up too. I put it flat on the other way, but let me pop it up on this way. So we've got this over here. And actually, you know what? Let me put that one over here. I'll show you why. Let me put it on straight. This I could have left flat. See how that's kind of cut out because of my circle? I can tuck that under there and no one's going to be any wiser. So really, I probably don't even need a pop dot on this one. So let me just take this off. I can use that on something else. And then let me just put a little piece of adhesive. And then we'll just tuck this. It'll be opposite of this one. So now I just used the new in color embellishments. Let me grab those. Where have those run off to? I try to be really organized, guys, and then I can't find stuff because I pull it out of my little bin where it falls on the floor. Alrighty, where are they? Okay, well, they're not right here at my hot little hands. So there they are. They're underneath my dies. Oh, goodness. Okay, so here are the new 25 to 27 in color flat pearls. And these are in our Strawberry Slush, Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, Cloud Cover, and Secret Sea. And I think I will do the Strawberry Slush. Or really, you could do one of each if you wanted. So let's do a Strawberry Slush. And maybe no, I'm going to go with 2 Strawberry Slushes. So again, just some cute little water bottle treat holders. Easy, fun, fast. Okay. Now again, we'll probably go a little bit over, but this next one I really want you guys to pay attention to, because you can do a lot with this next little treat box. I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm going to give you guys some ideas and you guys are going to go, wow. And again, don't pay attention to this because this was my sample. I was playing around with this, trying to figure things out. So that's why that piece comes up. You're not normally going to have that piece. And you'll see, it'll make sense to you here in a second. Okay. So this one, let me get this out of my way and move on to this one. Okay. This uses a piece of 6 by 10. So let's cut that. And again, I'm just going to stay with my Timid Tiger. Let me get these water bottle pieces out of my way. And get these blocks out of my way because I'm going to use something different. Okay. And again, I think this treat box right here is going to come in real handy for Halloween. So this might be something that you see here in the next few months again. If you needed to take a screenshot, let me lay that there and get my hands out of the way. If you need a screenshot of it, there you go. Okay. So again, 6 by 10. And so this is actually 6 by, you know what? I'm thinking it's 10 and a half, not 10. Hold on. Let me confirm. Yeah, 6 by 10 and a half. I wrote that on there wrong. Let me fix that. 10 and a half. So this is 11 inches long, so I'm just going to cut off ½ an inch. That's the easiest way for me to do that. Is that ½ an inch? Did I? Yeah, okay. So now we're at 10 and a half. And on this 6-inch side, we're going to score. So again, let's move our cutter blade out of the way. We're going to score at 1.5 inches on either side. Score, not cut, Shauna. Score, not cut. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do 1.5 on the other side. Okay. And then on the 10-inch side, we're going to score at, actually I'm going to do it over here on this side real quick because it's just easier. So this is at 1/2. And then I'm going to flip my paper over because just pretend I did it at 1/2. The reason why I like to use the smaller measurements over here is because all of this over here hangs off. and there's nothing to butt it up to. Whereas if I do it on this side, it butts up against this and I know I'm gonna score straight. So a half, and then 2 inches, four inches, 5.5 inches, and then we're not going to score, but at the 7.5 inch mark, we're going to put a little tick mark. So I'm just going to take my pencil and on both sides of the paper, put a little tick mark there, and you'll see why here in a second. Okay, I think we are done with our trimmer and our score. So now on this one, again, we have the little bitty 1/2 inch side over here. And actually I'm going to put it on this side because before I fold and burnish, I'm going to go ahead and cut up on each side on the score lines at the 1/2, the 2, the 4, the 5.5 to this 1.5 inch score right here. So we're just going to take this, cut up to that score line. And we're going to do this on both sides. You guys are going to love this treat box. I'm telling you. There are so many purposes for this. And this treat box is very easy to alter and make bigger. For instance, if you wanted, and I'm going to show you this here in a little bit, if you wanted more holes across, then when you're scoring this, you would just want to make this section bigger, maybe by 2 inches. So depending on what you want to use it for, it's very easy to alter and make it for whatever you want. Okay, so we've cut up on those lines. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come in here on this 1/2 inch. We're going to cut a little chunk. We're going to miter that. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And then we're just going to come in and we are going to take out some bulk, just so that this folds up a little nicer. And I'm not taking very much off. I'm just giving it a little haircut. Okay, so we're left with this. Now what we want to do is take from this tick mark that we made, we want to cut from here up to this score line. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and take my ruler and I'm going to lay it up here on the score line, and then come down to the tick mark. And again, up here on this score line, down to this tick mark. That's going to give us a little bit of an angle cut. So go ahead, and you could really just come in here with your cutter probably a little bit easier, and just line that up in your little little cutting slot right there. And then just so that you don't have your little tick marks, or your pencil marks. Just come in with an eraser. If you guys don't have these high polymer erasers, these erasers are the best erasers. Okay. Now let's fold and burnish all of these fold lines. So here's that little 1/2 inch. Here's the 2 inch, the 4 inch, and the 5.5 inch. And then here is our 1/2 inch on one side. I just feel like it's sometimes easier to cut on that straight score line before you actually fold and burnish everything. But again, completely up to you. Some people like to fold and burnish and then cut. So, okay, this is what we are left with. And the way this is going to fold up, this is going to come over and adhere to this. And then all of this will fold in. But before we do that, again, let's put our paper down, because to me it is much easier to get our paper on here when it's nice and flat. So I know we're right at 5 o'clock. Stay with me, guys, because this is the best part of today's Facebook Live. So this piece that we're going to need right here is going to measure 2 3/4 wide by 3. So let's go 2 3/4 by 3. I'm just coming down here at the bottom to do the 3 just because it's easier for me to see. Yes. Okay, and I know that looks really, really short, but this is going to fold up. So, and then this other piece that's on the bottom is going to measure, and again, I'm going to change out the cups, the glasses, the juice for, I'm going to go back to this fruit, these pieces of fruit. So I need a bigger piece of paper. Where is my fruit? Because I've already got one kind of cut up. There it is, right there, in front of my eyeballs. And this probably already measures, if I had to guess, the 2 3/4. Actually, we can cut a little bit of that off. It looks like it's a little too big. So let's go 2 3/4. And this is by 1 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. Whoops, I'm probably out of the camera. Sorry. Okay, now this is where, let's go ahead and put this down. We're gonna have to make some decisions. You guys ready to make some decisions? I'm just going to center this as best as I can. That looks pretty centered. Well, am I cockeyed? No, I'm good. Okay. Sometimes the lighting is kind of hard to see when you're videoing. This is the part right here where we're going to punch some holes. Okay. Depending on what you are making a treat box for, depends on what size of holes you want. So what I have done, I have just used some of my hole punches. So 1 3/8, 1 1/4, 1 inch. This one is almost 3/4. It's just a hair over. It's 13/16. This is what I used for these little drink packs. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that. You could also put 2 drink packs in here and, well, let me get that out. And again, don't pay attention to this because this was just a mock-up. But you could put in like a little drinking straw in this middle thing. You could put in, you know, one of these fancy little drinking umbrellas and then put in your drink mixes. So that's an option. You could get some liquor bottles. These are, I'm going to say 1 3/8. So 2 of these, if I did a 1 3/8 hole twice, 2 of these would fit in here. Or I could do 1 of these and again a little drinking straw, an umbrella. And I'm just saying drinks because of the paper that I'm using. Okay, say for instance we didn't have this paper. Say we've got Halloween going on. Or actually, before we get to Halloween, what if you wanted to do a little spa day? We got some nail polish. This nail polish will fit in this 1 1/4. So you could do 2 nail polishes. Here's a little base coat and a glitter top coat. And do a little spa day depending on the paper that you had. Of course, you would want to have some type of spa paper or makeup paper, some grilly paper, but that's an option. You could, Halloween is right around the corner. You can get these test tubes and make Jello shots. These would fit in the 1 3/8, maybe even the 1 1/4. These would fit in the 1 1/4. So you could do 2 of these on here. So that's an option. If you have the old Stampin' Up, gosh, I don't even know what year these came out. These were the little treat tubes that we came out with one year for Halloween. The kids really love these. You can put M&Ms or Skittles in them. So say we don't want to do these drink things. This little mock-up box is coming apart. Yours will not come apart, I promise you. But these fit perfectly in here. So if you, they also fit perfectly for some nerds. So if you want to do Skittles, M&Ms, you could do nerds. See? How cute, right? I mean, there are so many different options. And then, hold on to your hats. Okay, if you, I don't know if you guys, at Christmas time, when they have those gift sets, they have like, all the hot sauces. If you had some of those, you could do hot sauces for Father's Day. Yes, oh yes, you can. And if you wanted to do more than 2, say you wanted to do, because they're about the same size as these. If you wanted to do 3 of them across, this is what I'm saying. When you're folding your paper and putting your score lines, then you're just going to make this 2 more inches over. So make this middle part 2 inches bigger, and then you've got a spot for 3 of these. So just because I went with a 6-inch piece to start off with, you have an 8.5 or a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So depending on if you wanted to put 4 of these there, you could. It just depends on what you're wanting to make and what you're wanting to do. So just some thoughts, just some different ideas, but I can see these being great for Halloween, which is right around the corner. So let me get back to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this as a liquor container. And again, I think this was the 1 3/8, yes. And if you want to make sure, another trick, if you want to make sure that you're putting your holes in the right spot, take a piece of, give me just a second, I'm trying to get my Post-it notes. Take a piece of Post-it note and on the sticky part right here, cut out your little circle. There's one. Let me see if I can get the second one out of here. I might not be able to. It might be too small. Yeah, I can. Barely, but I can. And instead of guessing where you're going to put your circles, when you're using a piece of Post-it note, you can put your circles on here and get them exactly where you want them. So see, that side's got a little bit more, so let me go scoochy scooch, and I'll scoot this one over a little more. That looks pretty centered. Actually, let me pull it over a little bit more. Let's go right there. And then let me scoot this one over a little more. Get them exactly where you want them. Many awesome ideas. I think so, Mom. I think it is so versatile. You can just, whatever you want. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut those little holes out. And then these are going to fit in here perfectly. Okay, so I've got my paper there. When I fold this up, I'm going to need some more paper here. So that's where my piece of paper is going to go that I cut out. So let me adhere this. Is that right? Did I? Choop, choop. I kind of have to fold my box and make sure. Yes, right here. I'm going to center that. I'm going to take my tear and tape again. Put some tear and tape on this flap. Find my little pokey tool so that I can take the back off of this tear and tape. The hardest part about this box is probably lining it up to where this is sitting flat and flush. And so you're just going to come in here, you're going to eyeball it, I'm going to use that paper back there as my guideline, this little piece of paper back here. And I'm going to stick that right underneath it. It almost looks like that paper is going right under there, but it's not. And I'm going to take my little bone folder and I'm going to just put it in there and push that down. And so now the rest of this box, these are going to come down, these are going to come up, these are going to go in, and these are going to come over. Up, and I got my box off a little bit. Oh man. Oh well, that's okay. Be better about lining it up. That should have come over. I'm over. Let me see if I can undo that. Give me just a second. I was paying so much attention to lining it up on the top. Let me see if I can. I kind of smushed it up. Okay, let's try again. Tear and tape. Let's put another piece of tear and tape on this. I'm sorry that I'm going over, but this was just too much fun. And I wanted to show you both the water bottle and the little other holder. This little treat holder, which you can make. Okay, so again, I'm going to come back over here. Let's see if I do it better this way. If I stay in between, yeah, this will be a little bit easier for me to see. Maybe not you. But I'm going to line it up with the bottom of this, and then I'm going to make sure that these score lines line up with these score lines right here. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I've got my score lines. Those are lined up. And there's my paper. There. Now we should be golden. Okay, just pushing that back down. Okay, now let's try this again. These flaps go down, these flaps go up, these flaps go in, these flaps come around. Does that make sense? So now, where's my tear and tape? I just laid it down. I'll put some tear and tape. A little piece right here. And a little piece right here. Do the other side. And again, take my little pokey tool. Fold that adhesive in on itself so that you don't have any overhanging. One last one. And that goes over. That comes in. This goes over. That comes in. Okay, and see, you don't have, like for instance, this one, the reason why this is like this, again, because it was my mock one, and I just laid this over top. This started out with a 2 little hole, and then I thought, no, I'm going to go do the little 3 drink hole, so I just cut out a piece and put it on top. You wouldn't normally have that. So again, we're just going to stick these little drinks in here, or I could have even put a big one and a small one and done your little drink and then your umbrella and your straw. So it just depends on how you want to make them. You know, if you had a little bitty hole, then you could do that. So completely up to you. And then again, I'm just gonna, on this one, I'm gonna, because these are alcoholic drinks, and I mean, you can get these in a ton. You can get margarita ones. Here's a strawberry and a banana one. Of course, a pina colada and a coconut cream. But they're all the same size. So, and on this one, I'm gonna decorate it, and I'm gonna do any hour spent with you is happy hour. So let me grab my stamp. Any hour is happy hour. Where is it at? There it is. And again, this is a clear photopolymer. This is an old stamp set. One that I've hung on to because I love, love, love this stamp saying. These are sticky. There we go. I'm just trying to line it up on my grid paper so that when I put my block down, I know that it's nice and straight. And then I'm going to come in here on, again, just some scratch paper, and I'll probably just go ahead and use, oh, maybe the strawberry, let's go Timid Tiger. And then for this one, instead of using my circle punch, we can come in and use the nested essential dies. They look like this. And I can use probably that one. Now it doesn't have to be this wide. I can cut that down. So let me just run this through the die cut machine real quick. Or actually, you know, this is the Stylish Shapes die. And for this little itty bitty circle that I used on this one, it was the smallest circle right here. So we could probably use, this would probably fit in here perfectly. Look, let's just use that one. Pull my die machine over here. Get that lined up. I'm trying not to stick my head in the camera, but let me stand up. That'll just be easier. Roll this through. And then again, I'm just going to cut off one of these little drinks on this extra scratch. Let's see. I've got a couple of pieces here. Let's see. And you could really cut out 2 of these if you wanted. And you guys don't have to sit here and watch me cut these out since we're already over. But again, it's not very hard to cut these out, but probably this one and this one, and then just layer them on there. Put a couple little of your embellishments, those in color embellishments, and you're good to go. I'll take photos and show you guys finished products when I'm done, but very easy peasy. And again, you can convert this box and make it whatever you want for whatever you need. I just went with this drink theme because of the paper, but it can be easily adapted to Halloween. Like I said, the nail polishes, the hot sauces, anything that's gonna fit in your little circles. So again, I would just cut a whole bunch of circles out and then see what you want to make and what you're making it for, and then make this box however bigger. You just need to make the middle section, you know, do you need an extra 2 inches? Do you just need an extra inch? You can make that as big as your paper will allow you. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know we are way over. It's an hour and 21 minutes, but great options and a great treat box. And next week it'll just be a card. It'll go very fast and easy. So thanks for your time, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. See you guys next weekend. Bye-bye.